Good afternoon, everybody, from the Hanover Exhibition Center in Hanover, Germany, and welcome to our webinar about Hanover Messe 2024. My name is Brock McCormack. I am your host for today, and we have our program set for a little bit under an hour, perhaps, maybe an hour. We'll try not to go over that. Right now, we're going to I'll show you a brief look at our agenda. As I said, I'll be giving you a brief introduction and review, and then an overview of the upcoming fair in April. And then my colleagues will jump in and give you their comments and suggestions and tips about the exhibit areas at Hanover Messe 2024. Before we begin, I would like to mention that we are recording this webinar so that we can place it on our website afterwards on demand. So it will be available for you to look at afterwards if you care to. And we will also provide the presentation on the website for you to download if you're interested in doing that. We encourage you to submit any questions that you may have. You may do that using the chat module. And having said that, I will jump into our presentation. So if we look back at Hanover Messe 2023 in April of this past April, we hosted a little bit more than 4,000 exhibiting companies. More than 300 of those, 300 plus of those were industrial startups. And collectively, they showcased more than 8,000 products and innovations. Shifting over to the visitor side, we hosted more than 130,000 visitors from more than 150 countries around the world. 50% of the visitors came to the show with the decision-making capacity, and roughly 40% of those came from outside of Germany. Here is just a brief look at the top 5 industries that the visitors came from, and also their areas of interest as they indicate in the visitor surveys that we conduct on site. Again, this will be in the presentation on the website, so you can review this more in detail afterwards. Hanover Messe is also a media magnet. In 2023, we hosted 1,500 journalists from more than 50 countries, and they represent the trade press as well as daily business press, radio, television, and also online outlets. Before we get into Hanover Messe 2024, we just would like to show you a short video clip of what happened at Hanover Messe 2023. So that was our brief look back in pictures at Hanover Messe 2023, and now we're going to jump right ahead into the program for 2024. Our lead theme this year, or the overarching topic at Hanover Messe, or our motto, is energizing a sustainable industry. And what we want to focus on there is not just the role that industry plays in working towards the goal of a climate neutral production and energy systems, but also the role that politics play in influencing the decisions that are made here, and also the role that younger generations play. Because as you're aware, and we'll touch on this a little bit more, there is a shortage of skilled workers in many industry sectors. Diving a little bit deeper into the topics, you can see here, this is our overarching overarching topic, energizing a sustainable industry. And under there, we have we have identified in consultation with partners and industry associations and exhibiting companies, and also the media, what we consider to be the top 5 trends in industry right now, and they are Industry 4.0 and Manufacturing X, energy for industry, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning, carbon neutral production, and then hydrogen and fuel cells with a special focus on green hydrogen. If we expand the look at the topics, and we'll get into this, you'll see this will be a little more clear when you see the exhibition plan. We have 5 main exhibition areas. That's what we'll be talking about today. We have digital ecosystems, engineered parts and solutions, future hub, energy solutions, and automation, motion, and drives. And then surrounding each of those main exhibition areas are the topics in industry that are related to those areas. For another overview of that, if we look at the map, the actual plan of the exhibition center and the hall plan, you can see that everything here is color coded, so it's easy to determine which sections or which exhibition areas are in which halls at the show. So Hannover Messe, for those of you who don't know, is the world's leading trade fair for industrial technology, and has been basically since 1947. But we're talking about now. So why would someone exhibit at Hannover Messe? First and foremost, because it's a platform for international business. Exhibitors and visitors come from all over the world to meet here, to meet new customer or to meet existing customers, to also meet potential new customers, and to create partnerships. Another reason is that thought leadership. Our program, we have many additional programs such as the conference program that give companies the opportunity to share their visions, their projects, their concepts with a global audience, and by doing that, they also expand or generate more exposure. We touched about journalists already. It's a great opportunity to generate media awareness with 1,500 journalists from all over the world, basically. It's also a community here. We have 4,000 plus companies from the exhibit site, the 5 exhibit centers I talked about briefly. So it's a great opportunity to meet with them, to collaborate. Also, that's a pool of potential customers. And it's just a good way to be part of a community and to share a common mindset. And also another point is intelligence gathering. It's a wonderful opportunity because it's such a big gathering of companies of all sizes and from all industries that you can of course observe the competition, but it's also a place to meet peers and to share ideas and to keep up with the latest trends. As I mentioned, we have we have many ways that you can generate additional exposure, but it all starts with signing up for an exhibit booth or a stand, as some of you may say. We have a full range of options. You can see from a basic package to fair packages. We also have a digital only option, and then we have additional options such as group exhibits, country pavilions. We have special startup areas, which you'll hear a little bit more about shortly. But it all starts here with signing up. What that does is it unlocks other participation options. I'll give you a couple examples right now. One is guided tours. This is the list of what we have. We have about 10. And visitors that are interested in any of these topics can sign up for a guided tour. And what that means is that you get a targeted group of visitors being led directly to your exhibit so that you can give a presentation about your products and services. Another example is our conference program, which has more than 600 speakers. This is, again, we have 4 main stages, which you can see here. The overarching stage is industrial transformation, and under that we have technology transfer, industry 4.0, energy 4.0, and then there are additional topics such as industrial wireless and 5G, hydrogen and fuel cells, startups, and trade and investment. The call for papers for this opens beginning in December. So if you have a topic that you want to talk about, the information will be available on our website beginning at that time. And we also have sponsorship packages which are available if you're interested in that. Another option, which is new, is our, we call it a Young Talent Initiative, Your Future. This addresses the shortage in many industry sectors, the shortage of skilled workers. And this program is aimed at school children, college or university students, as well as young professionals who may already be in the workforce. And what we want to do is to encourage them to pursue careers in the STEM or the MINT fields, and so that they can help fill some of these job openings that Andrea is desperately looking to fill. And here also we have sponsorship opportunities. One final example is one that takes, it's an event that takes 2 months before the show begins, and that is the press preview here at the Exhibition Center in Hanover. And this is a great opportunity to meet face-to-face with journalists from about 20 countries. We expect somewhere around 120 journalists altogether, and this is a mix of exhibition and press conference and then networking. And that is my final example. So I think it's about time that we jump into the overviews of the different exhibition areas, and we would like to start with my colleague, Thomas Müller. Thomas?
Yeah.
And, well, let's just say the stage is yours now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brock, for the introduction. Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm in charge for the digital ecosystem and as well as for the engineered parts and solutions. And thank you from my side to join here at this meeting. Right now, we start with the digital ecosystems, definitely the biggest and greatest B2B platform of its kind. And exhibitors who join in the digital ecosystems maps definitely the entire digital value chain, definitely for the manufacturing industry. And this year we had the halls, or we occupied the halls 14 to 17, had around about 16,500 square meters occupied by exhibitors, and we welcome more than 650 visitors all over the world. Our aim for next year is definitely to make, well, we will getting bigger. What does it mean? So we try to reach more square meters and more exhibitors, and actually it looks very well that we can achieve this aim. If we go deeper here at this exhibition plan, you can see as this year also hall 14 to 17 will be the digital ecosystems area and the hometown of IT companies, institution, and so on. For the moment, we have a high spectrum of themes and topics within the digital ecosystems, but for the moment, I will highlight 5 different kinds. And I will start with our 5G and industrial wireless arena in Hall 14. This is our central exhibition space related to wireless technologies. And one of our unique selling points here in Hanover at the fairground is definitely that we can provide a 5G campus network in case of any showcase from your side. And on the other side, this year we had a very smooth and professional atmosphere in this arena. And together with our partners 5G ACIA and as well as the VDMA, we expect here a very similar, but I expect a more bigger area because our attention, our awareness outside is very big, that the Hanover Messe is the place to be for industrial wireless all over the world. The next point is our brand new product is a group exhibition, or it's a group exhibiting, a group pavilion for digital business and operation for manufacturing, it's called. And what does it mean in detail? This is a service from our side. We provide on the one side a boost building service together with a lead generation campaign package related to the topics MES, CRM, PLM, PDM, and as well as ERP. And this means in detail that we guarantee beforehand a lead generation. So beforehand the Hanover Messe starts, a lead generation to hand over to potential exhibitors. And these exhibitors are also visible at the fairground with this group pavilion. And we guarantee as well as a special kinds of marketing qualified leads and as well as booth visits here at the ground. Our website is updated for detailed information. How does it work like, for example, please join in our website. The next point is our industry security circus. We all know that IT and OT security is very important issues for all manufacturing industry, and this is definitely a service we provide IT, OT security, and as well as companies who will not join in the security circus, but these companies will be definitely placed in Hall 16 because Hall 16 is our center for IT and OT security. And what is a security circus? It's a mix of technology, offers products and services, including IT security training and targeting entertainment with innovative way of imparting knowledge in the context of IT and OT security. So it looks very fancy, but the message behind is very important. Together with the Fraunhofer Focus, we present, as I mentioned, group pavilion with the speakers corner, so speaking opportunities are given. And together, yes, this methodology, knowledge and approach is given here in Hall 16. Another very important topic is also our specialized topic in Hall number 17. So we have on the one side life cycle engineering and on the other side additive manufacturing. And from our opinion, this fits perfect together because the visitors will get an overview of separate engineering services regarding to simulation, regarding to computer-aided systems and PLM, and together with additive manufacturing exhibitors, we tell here a narrative of a product designing together to an additive manufacturing part. And exhibitors here can join in to tell together with us this story from lifecycle engineering to additive manufacturing. And last but not least, the predictive maintenance pavilion in Hall number 9. Definitely maintenance is one of, or is a special topics interest for all manufacturers, and this predictive maintenance pavilion will be placed in Hall number 9, embedded in the automation surrounding of the Hall number 9. So potential clients of these exhibitors who join in this pavilion are in front of a manufacturing industry like Siemens, Beckhoff, IFM, or Phoenix Contact. That's for the moment very fast. Are there any questions from your side?
Hello, Thomas. Thank you very much. I am looking in our chat, and I see that we do have a viewer who is interested in information or booth space in the Digital Ecosystems Hall. And can you send some information? So I think I can answer that for you. Yes, someone from our team will be in touch with you after today's webinar to provide you with the information you need.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take another look. Another question that I see is, can you provide an overview of the companies that have registered already for the digital ecosystems?
Yeah, definitely. The point is that we start in the north in Hall number 17, and Hall number 17, Microsoft, Autodesk, Hexagon already joined in as big and important brands from our side. Hall number 16 will be characterized with the IT and OT. Security issues, Google Cloud also registered. For the moment, seems to be Hall 16 should be the place to be for Google Cloud, and Hall number 14 and 15 are characterized with the topics wireless and 5G technology, as well as digital platforms. And current registered exhibitors in Hall number 14 and 15 are AWS, SAP, and also Ericsson and Cisco as well.
Okay, Thomas, and I see we have yet another question. What would be your recommendation for a technology that overlaps the different hall areas, the exhibition areas, for example, cloud computing?
Yeah, this is a good question because honestly, big brands like Microsoft or SAP or AWS also place topics like digital manufacturing, digital twin, or digital platform. So for my recommendation, and depending on the services and solutions you provide, please orient on the existing placed exhibitors. So maybe there is a special surrounding. And in case to cloud and IIoT, for the moment, I recommend our Hall 14 and 15 because there is a relationship to wireless technology and as well as to platforms. So related to this question, Hall 14 and 15 is a good place.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. So I don't see any more questions, so I think we can move on to your next exhibition area, which is engineered parts and solutions.
Yeah, engineered parts and solutions. This is our area where suppliers show the entire range of products and services and present themselves as a development partner at an eye level. And these engineered parts and solutions are placed this year in Hall 3 and 4. We occupied 7,500 square meters with more than 500 exhibitors. Definitely, this is one of our international themes within the Hannover Messe, and for the next year, we expect the same areas like this year. So there is a home for these parts, and Hall 3 and Hall 4 will be occupied by exhibitors related to these topics. And parallel to the digital ecosystem, I also provide here 4 highlights for you. And one big highlight is the lightweighting topics. On the one side, we are happy that we can announce that the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action will also host the 5th Lightweighting Summit. And this will be placed in hall number 3 at the transformation stage on Tuesday. So where this year, definitely our minister, Mr. Habeck, held a keynote. And I expect for next year, he also join in this event. So this is our VIP event, VIP speaking opportunities regarding lightweighting topic and regarding participation from potential exhibitors relating to lightweighting issues. We also provide here a new product, a lightweight construction pavilion placed in hall number 4, and this will be our central location related to lightweighting and in combination with new materials, designing, and as well as material reduces. And together with partners, we also provide opportunity to submit speeches and to get awareness via a submitted speech in our small speakers corner. And together with the additive manufacturing story we tell in hall number 17, definitely the engineered parts and solution is also an hometown for additive manufacturing companies for a cross-sectional overview in this halls, and the combination between lightweighting, additive manufacturing, and also CAD. We tell all the trade visitors we still have at Hanover, okay, here you find solution from the beginning and designing of the product till the end. With the final product and as well as with predictive maintenance. Also, how could we handle services after the product is finalized? And last but not least, together with the German Association of Material Management and Purchasing and Logistics, it's a German organization specialized for buyers. We also host a buyer's day similar to this year. At this point, we guarantee our exhibitors definitely awareness and a definitely presence from buyers specialized in German and mid-Europe, because they on the one hand join in the event, and on the other side also to get the opportunity for you as companies here to present your products, special buyers from different kind of industries like automotive, like aerospace, or plant machinery and mechanical engineering. These are my 4 highlights for the engineered parts and solutions, together with other highlights, but for the moment, that's all, and please feel free for any question.
Thank you, Thomas. We do have one question here, but I think it's more of a general question, which I will try to answer. And it asks if there are any training sessions for navigating the Hannover Messe exhibitor dashboard and shop. And there are discussions about these types of trainings right now online for exhibitors. But until we have anything concrete that I could tell you, I would just say that someone from our team will get in touch with you and we'll be happy to walk you through, to answer any questions you have and walk you through the process step by step. So someone will get in touch with you following today's webinar. Now let me see here. If I see anything else. Okay, no, that's it. I guess, well, one thing that I have here is, I know that you've mentioned it a little bit, but can you explain the main reasons for exhibitors, why it would be important for a company to join the engineered and parts solution area?
Yes, I can. The point is that the engineered parts and solutions is for especially many international companies a first step to enter mid-Europe and Germany in the biggest industry show we still have on the one side. On the other side, there is a strong relationship to our existing automation companies also present here at Hanover in the next hall, door to door. And from my perspective, the biggest point is that our biggest target groups are trade visitors from the automotive, from aerospace, from engineering, and as well as mechanical engineering and plant engineering. And this is a target group also from the exhibitors will be present in these area within the Hanover Messe. So these are my three biggest points why it makes sense to join in to engineered parts and solutions.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for your time. And now we are going to move on to my colleague Ulrike Hammer. So we wish Thomas a wonderful afternoon, and Uli will now talk to us about the topics of energy solutions and also our startup programs. Thanks for joining us, Uli.
Happy to do so, Brock. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of presenting two topics, energy and startups, which currently rank very highly among the interests of Hanover Messe visitors, and actually also in the media coverage of the show. In fact, more than half of Hanover Messe visitors are interested in energy supply, efficiency, and sustainability topics. The energy conference stage was actually the most frequented of the Hanover Messe conference stages this year, and also among the 12 top themes in Hanover Messe media coverage, a full 7 factor into the energy and sustainability spectrum. Similarly, hinting at the second topic, I'll be presenting research and development, innovations, and particularly startups and young talent also rank among the top interests of our delegates. But do let me start with the energy segment of Hanover Messe. This exhibit area of the show goes by the name of Energy Solutions and is located in halls 11, 12, and 13. As you can see on the map of the fairgrounds here, halls 12 and 13 are actually the first two halls that visitors will see when they enter from the west entrance of the fairgrounds, which actually is about a good half of Hanover Messe visitors, as it is the entrance where the high-speed train station is located, just a couple of 100 meters away. So really, the majority of Hanover Messe visitors will actually pass through halls 12 and 13 before going anywhere else on the fairgrounds. That being said, moving closer to our actual topic, we're all sadly aware that some major developments have taken place, such as the war in Ukraine, which continue to affect the energy supply and energy pricing structures. And that's beyond those effects induced by regulatory requirements. That, of course, is a factor, especially for industries with energy-intensive production processes, such as the automotive or the steel industries, which are actually quite well represented among Hanover Messe attendees. So as a result, the number of vendors with solutions such as renewable power generation technology, energy storage, energy management, and such has notably grown at Hanover Messe. In fact, by about 7,000 square meters and about 300 exhibitors this year alone. And we do expect this trend to continue in 2024. The storyline for the exhibition area Energy Solutions is the really undisputable fact that there really is no Industry 4.0 without Energy 4.0, and no industrial transformation without an energy transformation. So following this logic, as you can see here in this chart, Hall 12 aims to give an overview and really the long-term perspective of a transition towards decarbonization focusing on technologies for renewable energy generation, energy efficiency, energy management, as well as storage, and also sustainable mobility and zero waste. Certainly a highlight in that hall is the Energy 4.0 special exhibit right in the center of Hall 12, which offers a no-fuss turnkey package option along with a speaking opportunity in the above-mentioned Energy 4.0 conference stage. Moving on to Hall 13, as visitors move on about the fairgrounds, they will enter into a world of hydrogen and fuel cells as the central enabling technology of the energy transition. And a world of its own, it truly is, because what is special about Hall 13 is that it features a unique community, really, that has grown at Hannover Messe for a respectable 30 years now, really before anyone else was talking about hydrogen. So it really is a one-of-a-kind showcase of all kinds of application-ready hydrogen solutions for industry. And here as well, just like in Hall 12, we also offer full service packages flanked by 2 stages. So for anyone who's just really down to the core interest in just doing business with no major gear up before, this would be one of the options that you have. Moving on to what's new in energy solutions in 2024. That is actually going to be quite a bit. So we've named just a few points here, namely that, for example, the European Union will have a considerably enlarged space at the show in Hall 12 in the run-up to the 2024 EU elections. Naturally, in that process, energy topics will be quite in the focus for that. Also, company Uniper, for example, will have a first showing in Energy 4.0 in Hall 12. Salzgitter AG will have a first showing in the hydrogen segment in Hall 13. And Sweden and California will have their own country or rather state pavilions, respectively. That, of course, is on top of well-known returning brands such as Bosch, Siemens, Siemens Energy, Schneider Electric, and many others who are also already back on board again for next year. There's also a couple of new major events. The first one listed here is a conference, again, by the European Union on Monday in our convention center, and the second being a new conference, a new German-Norwegian energy conference under the name of North Sea Energy Hub on Tuesday, also in our convention center. So as you can see, there really is a lot going on around the topics of energy for industry and CO2 neutral production at next year's Hannover Messe. But so much for now about the energy segment. I'll gladly take your questions now if there are any.
Thank you, Uli. We do indeed have one question for you, but before we get to that, there is a question that I think is more general, and I will try to answer that. And the question is, what are the possibilities or the options, the best way for consulting firms to showcase solutions and submit a speaker application? And I would say there are numerous consulting firms that exhibit at Hannover Messe. So as long as the firm is signed up to exhibit, then they can, of course, take advantage of all the other opportunities. In which section of the show, I think that depends upon what types of services or products you're offering. And someone will get in touch with you after the webinar to offer you some guidance and consulting and to answer any questions you may have. So on to the question for you, Uli, is it's a pretty, I don't know if it's an easy one to answer, but who visits the energy halls at Hannover Messe?
Oh, okay. Thanks for that question. Well, I would say as for Hannover Messe in general, visitors to this part of the show mainly come from the manufacturing, processing, and energy industries, of course. In terms of their roles, it is mainly general managers, technical managers, as well, of course, as plant operators and machine builders, those who naturally have an interest in low energy usage, energy efficiency and such. But also we do have energy and fleet and sustainability managers, particularly in the audience of Energy 4.0, along with utilities, grid operators, and here and there even folks from the real estate industry. Brock, I think you're muted.
I was muted. Thank you for the hint, Uli. I don't see any more questions for you related to industry, so I suggest that you move on to your next topic, which is startups.
All right, will do. Moving on, in fact, I will, because Hannover Messe not only is home to established global players, but also provides a home to up-and-coming companies with big ideas, but usually small budgets. And when I say home, I really do mean home, because Hannover Messe really wants to be sort of a natural habitat, living room, if you will, for startups, because we really do firmly believe that proven success by established companies and the innovative drive by startups really can't do without each other. So startups at Hannover Messe aren't just shoved into some dark corner, but really they do take center stage at this show. Again, we'll be showing the map of the fairgrounds so you can locate where this area will be. Actually, startups can be found all across Hannover Messe, but we do have two dedicated areas for startups, one in Hall 2, our research hall, and the other in Hall 17 within our digital ecosystems area that Thomas just presented. Knowing from experience that startups will not spend a full 5 days of the show chained to their booth, but rather want to move about and strike up new connections in these startup areas, we offer a stylish but simple stand package that really allows for just that, namely having a home base at the show, which can be important, along with the freedom to really tap into all its other features. And spinning the simplification idea further, we have a number of new offerings for startups in 2024. For example, a new networking area, which allows for an even more stripped down, really completely footloose presence at the show. That gives your company logo visibility at Hannover Messe, but everything else comes a la carte and only if you need it and only if you want it. Also new are our fireside chats and our mentoring sessions, where in a more intimate setting, I should say, a limited number of startups meets established companies to discuss specific topics with each other. In a similar fashion, but involving a larger number of participants, our new master classes and our networking lunches also aim to facilitate exchange. So I keep saying exchange, networking, and such, because that's really what all of these new formats aim to do, namely to connect the established top dogs, if you will, with the rising stars at Hannover Messe, meaning they all want to really act as launch pads for collaboration. Some additional highlights I don't want to miss mentioning that are certainly also of relevance for startups, or certainly interesting for startups, is a major research summit on Monday in our convention center. Our Night of Innovations also on Monday, but in Hall 2. And also regular evening networkings in our startup areas. So all of this that's listed under new is really on top of existing formats such as our hackathon, the Hack for Industry. So really, if you're a startup with solutions in the manufacturing sphere, or really an entity that promotes startups, Hannover Messe is really the place for you. And all the same, if you're an established company that's looking to secure an innovative path forward, talk to young talent, connect with young talent, you should certainly consider sponsoring one of these formats. And with that, I hope I've sparked your interest in the energy and startup segments of Hannover Messe. Feel free to reach out to us for more detail at any time. Alternatively, as I said in the early edition this morning, we're also out in the wild as real people, for example, at the Basecamp event in Berlin next week, at the Web Summit in Lisbon, or at the Slush in Helsinki later this fall. Just follow our social media channels for dates and locations, or contact us directly after the webinar, and we'll be happy to share more info on that. Thank you. And with that, I'm passing it back to Brock for questions.
Thank you very much, Uli. And we do have a question, at least one, and it is, how do startups qualify for the startup halls or areas?
They really, I assume, qualify in terms of exhibiting as a first step. There really is no qualification process, other than that you have to be relevant for the manufacturing sphere, like the B2B manufacturing theme that Hannover Messe is all about. But as we all know, that can be quite diverse. So we're open to really a whole range of applications. We're just excited to meet you, and just let us know what your product, your proposal is, and we'll be making recommendations as to where and how you may join the show.
Okay, thank you, Uli. And another question is, what is the subject of the hackathon?
Oh, okay. Yes, I mentioned that in the subline there. We've actually launched the hackathon, the Hack for Industry, this year. And the way it works is, at some point before the show, we ask our established exhibiting companies for challenges they have with their real world projects. And those we will then post to our startup community for solutions. And the top proposals will be pitched at the show and awarded a winning prize, really, by the company that posted the challenge. This year, for example, we had Siemens Energy. They've offered up a challenge to do with a robot used for maintenance tasks and power plants. So yeah, I remember it was quite the spectacle to see this thing move about the stage at the award ceremony. So besides solving an actual problem, which makes both sides happy, it was also a nice photo op for everyone, which was actually repeated quite a bit in social media as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Uli.
Sure.
And I don't see any further questions. So again, thank you for your time. I wish you a wonderful afternoon. And now it's time for us to move on to our next host, who is Alina Makowski, and she's going to tell us about the exhibit areas, Future Hub, and international trade and investment. Welcome, Alina.
Yes, thank you, Brock, and hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Alina Makowski, and I will be first presenting our Future Hub area, where it's all about research and development. So it takes place in Hall 2, which is located right next to one of the main visitor entrances. And in 2023, we had about 3,800 square meters with 170 exhibitors. However, we do expect those numbers to increase in 2024. So, and on the next slide, yeah, you can see the location of Hall 2 right here in the north of our fairground. Yeah, right next to the north visitor entrance, as I have mentioned before. Yeah, and we do have a couple of new features for you and some highlights. For example, there will be a new startup area on research in Hall 2. As my colleague Ulrike has already mentioned, it's no longer only Hall 17, but also Hall 2. So we will, yeah, really use the synergies of the research ecosystem in order to, yeah, offer more opportunities to the more possibilities for the startups, and yeah, there will be pitches and networking opportunities offered. Then there will also be a new group pavilion specifically for colleges and universities. And in 2024, we will once again have our group pavilion on the trend topic quantum technology. Yeah, we launched this group pavilion for the first time in 2023, and next year, yeah, you could say it will be even bigger and better. We want to really set the focus on quantum technology for the future, because every day it gets more and more important. Yeah, so there will also be a focus on our conference program, because we do have the tech transfer stage in Hall 2 as well. And we will also provide a new guided tour on this topic. And then some of you might remember the Night of Innovations. We had this in the past, and we will bring it back in 2024, but with a new format that we are currently working on. And more information should be available soon related to this topic. In addition to that, Ulrike has already mentioned that one as well. We will have the research summit that will be moving from Berlin to Hanover. And yeah, it's really exciting because it's going to take place during Hannover Messe on April 22nd. And last but not least, Brock has also mentioned that one briefly, our young talent initiative called Your Future. This will in 2024 get a new home also in Hall 2. So we will really have a nice mixture of research and development with a focus on quantum technology, but also startups and young professionals. Okay, are there any questions so far, Brock?
All right, thank you, Alina. Yes, I do see one question here, and that is, what are the participation opportunities for quantum technology? So I guess the question is that is that limited to the group exhibit, or is there also an opportunity for companies to have independent booths?
Yeah, good question. So actually, there are several options to participate if you are offering products or solutions or anything related to quantum technology. So you can either book a space in our group pavilion on quantum technology, where we are offering like an all-inclusive package. So you will have the stand construction, cleaning, security, catering, lounge area, and so on included already. So you don't have to worry about anything basically besides being present during the fair. This is one option, but if you prefer participating individually, that's also possible. You could book like an individual booth at also at Hall 2, because like I said, this is really the focus hall for this topic.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me scan the chat in my question log here, and I think that is that's the question we have for Future Hub. So I think it's time that you move on now to international trade and investment.
Yes, of course. So exactly, international trade and investment was formerly known as global business and markets, but we have renamed it for 2024. And as of today, it will take place in Hall 4 on our fairground. And in this year's edition in 2023, we had about 2,000 square meters with 60 exhibitors from all over the world. And I think it's pretty much safe to say that, this is our most international area at Hannover Messe. And same here, we also expect those numbers to rise for 2024. Once again, our exhibition layout. So Hall 4, you can see it right here. We will share this space with the Engineered Parts and Solutions area. Okay, so you could basically say that international trade and investment is like a mixture of an exhibition area plus a VIP catering and networking area or platform, our so-called investment lounge, and also our trade and invest stage with a conference program on topics such as, for example, near and friendshoring, offshoring, energy and raw material security, investment in cooperation opportunities, and many more. So as an exhibitor, you have the possibility of booking a slot for like a presentation or panel discussion, for example. It's really the right platform for countries or regions and cities to present themselves as investment opportunities in the industrial context. And it's a very unique platform because there's no other comparable event taking place in the industry sector. Yeah. Are there any questions in the chat?
Yes, I can tell you there was already one here waiting for you, and that is, how do I get access to the investment lounge?
Yes, so it's a VIP area, so it's reserved for our exhibitors of this area only and their guests, of course. So you would have to become an exhibitor at International Trade and Investment, and then you have to book one of our mandatory packages for the investment lounge. And the only difference between those packages is basically the number of accesses that you get to the lounge. So if you need like only 5 accesses, for example, there's a package, or if you need more, there's like 10 accesses or 20 accesses or 20. So you choose one of those packages as an exhibitor in this area, and then you will automatically get access to this investment lounge. And yeah, you can welcome your guests there, hold meetings there, or even welcome some international delegations.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll check once more in the chat. I don't see any more questions. So I say thank you very much for your time. I wish you a wonderful afternoon. And now I'd like to welcome our next host, Emmanuel Mara, who is going to talk about the exhibition area automation, motion, and drives. Welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Brock, for your introduction, and hi to everyone. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm responsible for the automation part of Hannover Messe. So let's dive in. We are in halls 5 to 9 and 11, and in 2023, we had 55,000 square meters and 1,000 exhibitors, and we expect the same for next year's event. As we have a very wide range of product categories, let me give you a short introduction of each hall. So the red halls are the automation motion drive part. We start with hall 5. In hall 5, we will have robotics, automated guided vehicles, and the logistics automation. Here are companies such as KUKA, Schunk, and Stäubli. In halls 6 and 7, we have the electric drive systems, motors, hydraulics and pneumatics, as well as linear technology. Companies here are, for example, Festo, Bosch Rexroth, SEW Eurodrive, and Highwind. In hall 8 and 9, we have topics like industrial IT, measurement technology, control, and IPCs. Companies here are Siemens, Beckhoff, IFM Electronic, Pepperl & Fuchs, and the Smart Factory, for example. The hall 11 will be the cutting surface to the energy topics. And here we have companies like Vago, Weidmüller, Schneider Electric, Harting, Lapp, and Rittal. So what's new for next year's exhibition? As I already mentioned, we moved the robotics area to hall 5. We will also have here a group exhibit if you're interested in a turnkey package called Application Park X Next Gen Work. And here the main topics are AGVs, vision imaging, and exoskeletons, as well as cobots. In hall 6, we offer a group exhibit called Motion Drive Pavilion. So another turnkey package for you if you're interested to have the full service. Please go to our Motion Drive Pavilion, and it's detailed information here you will get also at our homepage. In hall 9, we have a new exhibition area. It's called Embedded Systems and Solutions. We have here a theme park, and it's a group exhibit, including a speaker's corner. So beside the exhibition or the booth location, you also have the opportunity to have a speech to highlight your products and solutions. For hall 11, we also have a totally new exhibition area called Industrial Services. It's also a group exhibit, and we here expect around 1,000 to 1,500 square meters. And some of the main topics are assembly, cleaning, maintenance, recycling, and logistics services. That was my presentation, Brock. Are there any questions in the chat?
Let me take a look, Emmanuel. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And there is one question. It is, what are the trend topics for automation leading up to 2024?
Okay, the trend topics, or some of the trend topics for next year, are Manufacturing X, which is a successor or the next step of Industry 4.0. It's like a red line, and it's even in all halls of Hannover Messe, not even in automation. That's one. Another one is CO2 footprint of products, also in view of climate neutrality. And that is the second one. And another one is digitalization and electrification of industry. That is a topic which also is important for the energy topics, and not only for the automation part, and as well as for the digital ecosystems.
Okay. Let me check one and see before we let you go. I don't see any more questions in the chat or here in the other monitor. So thank you very much for your presentation, Emmanuel. Wish you a nice rest of your afternoon, and thanks again.
Thank you, bro.
So this is just a look to wrap it up. These are the exhibitors who have already signed up. Lots of well-known names, but also there are many SMEs, small, medium-sized companies and startups. So companies of all sizes are welcome at Hannover Messe. We encourage you to stay tuned, follow us at our website, sign up for our newsletter. We are active on all social media channels. If you'd like to interact with us, use the hashtag HM24. These are, again, as a review of your hosts who were presenting today. And thank you for joining us. Before I sign off, I just would like to point out again that the video for this webinar will be on our website probably sometime tomorrow for you to download, as will this presentation. And I think that's enough from me. So I wish you, wherever you are, a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, and we hope to see you in Hanover in April. Thank you again.